You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Team Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV Suits After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Suits After Show.
Where's my music? Oh, there it is. My shoulder started going a little bit early that time. I was expecting it. Hey everyone, Bing is for doing, and that's what we're here doing, another Suits After Show. It's season 3, episode 7, She's Mine. I'm Tiona Hobson, and joining me tonight, I have my two lovely co-hosts.
Hey everyone, it's Ashida Onrae.
Hey guys, Emma Kay.
So overall thoughts. I thought the ending of tonight's episode was really great.
Yes.
Overall thoughts from you guys?
I loved it.
We saw a lot of action, but not the action you wanted to see. So.
No, but I got the fight, so I got a little bit of action.
I mean, it was a very...
I'm like looking over and she's like yawning in the mock trial. She's like, come on, damn it.
Sex.
Yeah, at one point I just turned, I was like, Ashida, I don't think you're going to get your sex tonight, honey.
No, I'm not.
It was...
But that's okay. I got the
maybe
fight.
they'll do makeup sex next episode.
No, that's good. That's a good prediction. I like that.
All right, let's get into tonight.
I don't want to have the giggles like I did last time.
Yeah, let's avoid those. I couldn't look at you for like the first 20 minutes of the show. Let's get into tonight's episode. So we still have Ava's trial going on, which feels like it's been 7 episodes, so it feels like it's been going on for a long time. But at least it's finally starting to get somewhere. We're finally getting some answers out of it. We know that Colonel Mariga is his name, that Cameron actually has him as a witness now, thanks to that no good lying son of a bee, Steven. You're still so cute, though.
Not as cute as
He's not
Harvey.
cute anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I'm done.
Did you switch sides?
No.
I'm like
Whose team are you on now?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm being attacked right now. I am all American over here. The British invasion can go away now.
Yes.
Okay? I'm still Team America over here. So we know that Steven is the one who led Cameron straight to Mariga because he calls Mariga to find out what Dennis or what Cameron actually has on him, which was nothing. Now it's something. But in him doing this, it kind of set the wheels in motion for Jessica and Harvey to finally come back onto the same team for at least a little bit for right now.
Yay.
So we finally have the dream team back together.
Dream team.
Jessica's clearly not over the fact that Harvey tried to get her out of the office, but she's, as Harvey said, she realizes that there's a greater evil out there that they have to join forces for. So I thought it was an interesting conversation that Jessica, Harvey, and Mike all had in the beginning, where Jessica's bringing this up, and, there's the whole awkward situation of, does Mike know already? And she's like, of course, you don't think that I know that he already knows?
Right. He knows.
And I think the writers do a great job writing the whole story, because up until episode 7, I really had doubts about Ava as well. One episode I was saying she's innocent, the next one I was like she's guilty, but it's good to see that she's innocent and that she really didn't know what was going on, and her number 2 did not either. Yeah. So I like that ending, how they merged it and put it together.
Yeah, that was an interesting twist, because the way that Jessica has decided she's going to run the case, and she wants to run it all so that the finger gets pointed at her number two, her former number 2, Nick, because he opened a Swiss bank account that no one knew about. He was the one who set up all the meetings and the phone calls with Mariga. So everything does look like Nick is the one. And something interesting that came out of this whole point the finger at Nick thing was the whole, would a number one know if a number two was going behind their back, which really is Harvey and Jessica's relationship at this point.
Right, but that's hard to prove in a jury, even though sometimes the number one does not know what the number two is doing.
But she said the number one
prove.
should know, not that, she didn't know, but she should know what the number two is doing.
True, I agree with that, but sometimes number two
Which
wants something that number one, and they know number one would either not allow it, would not condone it, and would stop it, so the number two can go behind the number one's back.
So would that make Darby number one and Jessica number two? That anything that number two does, number one should know about?
There's a lot of number one, number two relationships happening here. I think, yes, Darby is the number one to Jessica's number two. Jessica's the number one to Harvey's number two. Harvey's the number one to Mike's number two.
I'm just saying, whatever argument she makes, at the end, she's still a number two to someone else.
It's very true.
So
and,
it could be it's contradicting to say something and refer to Harvey.
And this is something that she has already done in the past to, the people who were there before it was Pierce and Hardman, to Hardman again.
Right.
So when you're training your number two, and this is what he sees and what he has grown up with, basically, is it really that surprising to you that someone you trained could go and do this to you, because you did it to people who trained you and who trusted you?
Exactly.
So she's projecting all her anger onto, Ava, for instance, when they're, questioning her and going through their strategy. She's projecting all this anger she has towards Harvey and towards Darby at Ava, when clearly she should be looking at herself.
Right.
And even when she talked to Darby later on in the episode, and he was saying, this is misplaced, and, she's never taken acknowledgement that she was at fault and that she's the one she's really the reason this happened to her.
But I like what Harvey brings up when he says that, he's been saying it all along about Darby and the merger and how he didn't agree with it and how he felt about it. But ultimately, it's Jessica's choice, and she went ahead and did the merger anyways.
And now it's biting her in the butt.
So, I think he was really sticking to his word and trying to make her understand. And maybe this was his way, really. I don't know if he was really going to turn against Jessica or he was using it just to get her to realize who Darby really is.
Yeah. And do we believe Darby's side of his defense, that he made the agreement with Harvey to keep him happy in the hopes that Harvey would drop it
No.
when it came there? Or was that just good lawyering?
I think it's good lawyering. I think he can play both sides.
Yeah.
Because at the end, it's 51-49. So, why not have 100%?
Yeah, because when he came back with that defense, it was a little too quick. He was like, oh, well, maybe that's how I wanted things to play out from the start. And maybe Harvey is the one who wanted you to now be mad at me enough to get out of the merger.
Well, he has to play both sides. And knowing the ending of this episode, we realized why he's playing both Jessica and Harvey, just to keep both of them on his side, not really revealing what his true intentions were with each one of them. So Steven and especially him, they won't be exposed.
Yeah. So that's interesting, because I don't know, there's so much backstabbing and lawyering going on that
I know. It's like you don't know.
I don't know who to trust anymore.
Right.
Which is great writing and good for them, because I think we're not supposed to know, but I don't know who to root for. I know to root against the British, or else you girls will get on me.
Yes. Even though there was good sex, we're still like, we're not happy about it.
But we didn't get to see.
Yeah.
Well, based on their interaction, it showed that
lunchtime.
That it was really good.
Dentist
Yes, I was like, okay, all right, I get it.
I give Donna credit, not him.
And you know what? I like that.
Which brings me to my next point, that I really felt bad for Donna. I felt that she was genuinely
Being played.
And this is something that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. If we trusted that Steven's intentions were good with Donna, or if he was using her. And I know I've always been like, no, he's genuinely in there. And then, you know, to find out that maybe he wasn't makes me think that to make myself feel better, I'm going to say it started as he was playing with her and it turned into true emotions and feelings for her, which makes it that much harder at the end.
Not really.
No?
Because,
Damn.
I mean, Harvey says it that she had a rule for a reason, right? And he says, why didn't you respect your rule with him? Because you don't, it's still work and it gets in the way, especially when you guys are working on a big case that you know he's here to watch what Harvey does. So one way or another, something's going to come up. You know, the deposition paperwork ended up being 7 pages ended up missing from the printer.
Yeah.
And where is it? Steven has it.
How convenient. What do you think, Ashida?
I think two things. I think I was always wondering if he was playing Donna, but if he wasn't playing Donna, I was hoping that their relationship was actually genuine, that he really did like her. But now I'm feeling like he didn't, and he played her, but I'm just wondering if he did not, at the end, if we did not find out about him, you know, ordering those murders, if he really did.
See, I still think that he did develop feelings for Donna.
Yeah,
that it was genuine.
it was genuine.
His intent and what he got there initially for was not. I don't think he expected it to go as deep as it did. Maybe he was just trying to, you know, befriend Donna. That was his original plan, and then he got there, met her, and.
But I think his original plan was to befriend Donna.
Yeah, but then he
I was
betted
hoping
her.
not. I was hoping not. I was hoping that it was actually genuine, but I think he originally was befriending her for a reason to stay close to Harvey.
Yeah. I think that too. And I think that
just to keep an eye on the case.
Yeah, I think that once he saw her and their interactions, then once it took that step further, then he was kind of like, crap, what do I do now? I don't think it's the last we'll see of Steven and Donna's epic romance, if you can call it that.
No more romance.
The romance. Back into the trial, because we totally got off track there.
Right.
Mike and Jessica tells Mike, you know, basically you need to find out what these guys have on Nick so that we can figure out how they got him to flip in the first place. Mike, being the very smart young man that he is, goes to Cameron and purposely knocks over all those files because he can memorize paperwork, and you see his eye just scanning them as he's picking up all the paper. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that was so smart, Mike. Like, sometimes he has really good ideas. Other times they're epic failures. But he ends up finding out, you know, about the Swiss bank accounts that were opened up. And when they have I guess it was another deposition with Nick, with everyone there, Nick, you know, is adamantly defending himself, saying, I knew nothing. I knew everything that she knew, that Ava knew. So you can't push these murders on me. No one's going to believe you anyways. And then it's when Donna tells Mike that Steven had stolen the 7 pages, that he puts it together, that Steven and Mariga went to college together and were on the same rugby team, which now I have a question. Darby and Steven, even if you sent him out here to stop people from being able to figure out, you know, your involvement within this whole process, how could you not realize that Mike and or Harvey eventually would put together that Steven and Mariga went to the same college and were on a rugby team together?
Because they would have no reason to suspect Steven unless he does something stupid like call Cameron or lead Mariga to Cameron. Then they would have suspicion, reasonable doubt.
But even if once Mariga's name's brought into it, shouldn't they have been digging into his past and finding out his whole story? Like, even before all this came to them, I feel like once his name was brought up, once he was shown in that video, is when they should have been, okay, we need to know everything there is to know about this guy who actually committed the murders, because he's the one saying that our client did it. So a lawyer's first thing they would do is find out everything.
Because that wasn't the point of the case or the trial. The trial was to prove that Ava did not bribe, period. It wasn't a murder case.
Yeah, but once it changed over into a murder case.
But he wasn't a witness until last episode, which was a bluff, and they found out towards the end of the episode that they really had him in custody.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You concentrate at what's going on and what you need to work on to win the case, and I don't think they thought about, wasting their time, which at the moment would have seemed like wasting their time to dig up dirt on someone who is in.
Jessica was clouded because Jessica was running the case, and she was misplacing her anger, and she wanted to prove how can number 2 not know where she wanted to prove that number 2 would not know what number 1 did, right?
Number 1 didn't.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Wait, number
However
2
that
didn't
goes.
know what number 1 did, but then Harvey was saying that's going to be hard to prove in court. How do you prove number 2 doesn't? How do you prove that number 1 does not know what number 2 is doing?
Yeah.
And so that's where their energy went to, and then Donna found out.
Yes, and thank goodness for Mike for being able to put, this seamless. Donna wasn't even going to tell Harvey about it. She didn't really think that it was even a big deal. Well, it was a big deal that he went behind Harvey's back after he promised to stay out of the case and took the 7 pages out of the deposition. But she wasn't thinking that it was something that he was trying to hide. So thank goodness Mike was there to really dig into it to figure out the whole.
Well, he put the phone call, leading to Cameron, the deposition, what was in the deposition in those pages that he wanted to take away.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a good thing that we had Handy Dandy Mike there too.
Handy Dandy Mike.
I'm glad he was able to say no to his girlfriend's cat mock trial to really do his work this time.
Before we get into that, because that was maybe my favorite part of this whole episode. Guys, I know you've heard us talk about it before. Our producers here, Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro, have put together an amazing movie. It's hilarious. It's called Serial Buddies. Go online, download it. You can find it on iTunes, on our website, serialbuddies.com, on demand. It's everywhere. Make sure you download it. Get online. Let us know how you like it. It's Dexter meets Dumb and Dumber. It's so funny. It's got an all-star cast. So please, please support us and support Serial Buddies. Now, into this whole mock trial. Lewis is crazy.
Weird over a cat.
Okay, so
Oh my gosh.
we all know that Nigel has gone to China or Japan or somewhere overseas for work, and he's supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. He comes back 1 week early. Lewis is not ready to give Mikado back. Mikado is his cat, everyone. The cat, Mikado.
Yes.
Lewis isn't ready to return Mikado because they had a verbal agreement that he would keep the cat for 2 weeks. So while they're arguing about who will keep the cat, which it's Nigel's cat, you give the person their cat back when they come back from vacation, when you're cat sitting. You just give it back. Lewis decides he wants to sue him in a mock trial for custody of this cat. Things get a little crazy because they have the associates conducting the trial. Lewis, they explained why Katrina was absent from this episode because Lewis would have grabbed Katrina, but Nigel sent her to Barcelona or somewhere so that he couldn't use her. So then Lewis gets Rachel. How Rachel ends up in this mess, I don't know. But it was actually good to see Rachel actually get to be the lawyer because she's always helping people out and she's one of the smartest people at this law firm. She's just not a lawyer, so she doesn't get the credit. So I loved seeing her in the role of lawyer and actually fighting the case and winning ultimately. I mean, she won that thing.
Right. And to piggyback off of what you said, I'm glad Mike said no because it trained her to think and to figure it out another way.
Yeah.
Instead of Mike helping her. So she had to go back and say, okay, well, you know what? Lewis is, even though he's a little weird, he did, hide the mistake that you made with forgetting to add the 0. He did support you. So that was good that she was able to turn it around.
She was able to lawyer her way out of it because Nigel calls the hostile witness of Harold, who
that was hilarious.
when they said a hostile witness, I was like, please be Harold. And Harold came back for his 5 minutes of glory. I miss Harold around the office. I really do. Poor Harold. He always
we miss all the screaming and the fun.
Yeah, all the screaming and the fun, but good to know that he's doing a lot better
And
at this
he's
other law
happy.
firm. He's happy. He's probably not messing up as much anymore, you know. But Harold gets called to the stand, and they bring up how, you know, Lewis left Bruno with Harold, and then that's when Bruno died, and how he was always screaming. And I love the way, because it was not looking pretty for Rachel. But she really was able to
She had a comeback.
come back with something, you know, turn all this yelling that Lewis did into showing how he's actually is nurturing and teaching these associates, and giving them life lessons and the hard lessons of being a lawyer. He's letting them fix their own mistakes and make the mistakes, because that's the only way you can really learn.
Right.
And by him constantly being there to call them on their crap is different than how Nigel, you know, is never in the office and always just sending a memo once a month to them, you know.
I don't know how I would feel about that. I think I would want my boss out of the office sending memos once a week or every other week. I don't want them screaming down my throat.
Yeah, that's true.
I would like a
That's a
nice
good point.
medium of the two. Can we merge these? Can we find common ground? Because where the memos once a month is nice, I also think that you start slacking off a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, you know, what's
boss
another?
is gone.
The boss is gone. What's another hour?
Right.
You know, on Facebook chatting.
Right,
You know,
on
before I get
TMZ.
to
Yeah.
before I get to the work. And then when you have Lewis there, you're so scared to go to work and to mess up that you're constantly messing up because of your fear of messing up. So I think
Right.
they need someone in the happy medium ground between them. But ultimately, Rachel wins the case, and so Nigel comes with a settlement offer because he knows that the one thing that Lewis loves more than Mikado is the associates,
Controlling the associates.
controlling the associates. So Lewis now has to decide between Mikado or does he want his beloved associate program back. Ultimately, he does the right thing and returns the cat to his owner, because that's what you should do. You should return the cat to the owner after cat sitting. But I thought it was awesome, too, how Lewis takes this moment to, you know, reward Rachel with, you know, her big court win by handing her her acceptance letter into Columbia. And I was like, yes, it's Columbia. She can stay in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not where she wants to go, though.
I mean, it's just, we've never
And
talked about it.
That's not where Mike will be going.
Mike.
Yeah, remember last
He
last
got accepted
season, last
into
episode?
Harvard?
Harvard. And then
That was a flashback.
No.
no.
That was not. It was after he got the letter from Harvard that he's been accepted, and then remember he shared it with Rachel,
That he
That
got
he got-
accepted, but that
he-
was 10 years ago.
and Rachel said, "Why didn't you say that? Why didn't you let me know that you applied?" And
he's-
then we get the
Oh.
flashback of him being kicked out, and well,
Yeah, I took that as
No, he
10
got
years ago he was going to transfer schools when he was with his friend, and when he got busted for the cheating on the test, that he got accepted to Harvard then, and he was supposed to go to Harvard back then, and then when he screwed up, they blocked him. The dean made sure he didn't get
Right.
into Harvard.
Right.
Because if he were to go to school now, wouldn't
Well,
everyone
that's-
know that he's not a lawyer?
well, that's why. Remember, he tells Rachel, "Let me go, and then when I come back, can I share my story with you?"
He never shared the story because he's so wrapped up into the Ava trial.
Oh, see,
He left to go
Yeah.
to
Oh.
the interview for
I
Harvard.
didn't get that. I got that he was going to tell her what happened 10 years ago when he was accepted to Harvard.
No.
No, because he already told her what happened 10 years ago when
Oh.
he said that he's never.
When he told her the secret.
But
the big
still,
secret.
Boston, New
and
York,
that
it's
whole
not far.
thing happened in the file room.
Yeah, but still, if she's at Columbia in New York and he's in Boston at Harvard, that's not far. It's better than Stanford and Boston
True.
for their
yeah, but she
relationship
wants to
at
go
least.
to Harvard because of her dad, right? Harvard.
But she's
is-
not getting into Harvard. She already
I know, but that's not
wasn't
true.
accepted
Well,
there.
that's
But
true.
that will be some issues.
Yeah.
Some
Ooh.
acceptance
Some-
issues from her
Yeah.
dad.
I wonder why she hasn't used her dad to get in yet.
Because she said she didn't want to use him.
Right.
Oh,
And
wants
she
to go
wanted
on
to
her
do it
own
on her own.
merit.
own
yeah.
merit.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And she doesn't want anyone knowing that's her dad. Remember when, even when he was representing
Yeah.
the client and fighting against Harvey, she didn't want anyone knowing that it was her dad.
Very true.
Yeah.
You
Ooh,
girls
it's gonna
keep
be
me on my
good.
toes. I really did not get that whole Mike got into Harvard thing. I mean, that completely whoosh right over my head. I really thought I was still watching the flashback. I'm glad you guys were there to explain that to me.
So hopefully they'll talk about it next episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because
we only have a few episodes left in this portion. We'll talk about that. And so she's gonna have to make a decision pretty soon about where she's going for law school and what that means for Mike and Rachel's relationship.
Yeah.
I hope that it
Because those are the only two people that are having sex. They got to figure it out.
And just like that.
Donna's gone. I'm like, oh, man, I ain't got nothing.
Maybe it'll be Harvey and Donna.
Yeah, because at the end of the
that'll
episode,
be
you know,
good.
Harvey went and beat Steven's butt in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's a turn
Based on Donna's
yeah.
emotions.
Yeah, I mean, he said at the beginning of the episode if Steven got involved in his case again, he would kick his butt.
Yeah.
But I think Harvey looked back and saw Donna's tears and when she was like, I'm so sorry.
See,
and that was
yeah.
the thing that put him like, you made my girl cry?
Yes.
Let's go. And
I
he
like
just
it.
in the middle of the bathroom.
I like it.
His name's on the wall and he's beating up his employees.
So sexy. That's my prediction.
Which
I put it out
one?
there.
Yeah. All of it. All right, let's get into our news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so today is Patrick Adams' birthday. He's my happy birthday. He's 32, but he looks 22, so that's a good thing.
His girlfriend tweeted, "Happy birthday."
Oh, that's so cute. No, really, it is cute. I'm just a little jealous.
She's cute.
She is cute. I love her. She's so cute. So I found a video of Patrick. He did the Entertainment Weekly pop culture personality test. It's a video online. You can find it at entertainmentweekly.com. And some of the fun facts about him that came up in this is that his first celebrity crush was Jessica Alba. He said he's had a thing for her from back when she was in Flipper.
Oh,
I didn't even know
wow.
she was in Flipper.
I didn't even
Me
know
neither.
there's a movie called Flipper.
It's about a dolphin.
Oh, okay.
Does flips.
Okay.
It doesn't have any sex.
Yeah, it doesn't have any sex.
I'm sure you missed that.
And then another.
She's like, rated R? Okay. PG-13. Oh, no.
No,
We can't.
can't do that.
Like Flipper. Okay.
Another fun fact about Mr. Patrick is that when he was around 17 or 18, he ended up on the same flight as Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he wrote a fan note from the plane just saying like how big of a fan he was and signed it like your friend in row like 32B or whatever seat he was in. And Philip Seymour Hoffman actually, he gave it to the stewardess and got delivered, and he actually came back and talked to Patrick on the flight. They talked about, you know, acting and how he wanted to get into it and everything. He gave him some tips, and then years later they met again, this time after Patrick was on Suits, and Patrick brought it up to Philip and he didn't remember. But
He's like, I have a lot of those.
yeah, he probably has a lot of that. You know, he's a pretty big actor, but I thought that was kind of a cute story that,
That's
you know, the world coming full circle. And then episode news. These are kind of spoiler alerts because they're titles of the episodes that are coming out.
SEX.
Oh, wait, I don't want to know the spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Well, it's just the episode
Close your
titles. It's not
ears.
that bad. Earmuffs. So last week we said that next week would be the finale for this, and clearly we were wrong. We have 3 more episodes left before our summer finale. Episode 308, which is next week, is titled Endgame. 309, Bad Faith, and then the finale's episode title is Stay. So who's asking who to stay? Let's discuss it in our predictions.
And then the following one would be 369, right?
And now,
high five on that?
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
You guys see what I deal with in here? I don't know. Someone can bail me out.
Oh my God.
So, predictions. They're both red. You guys are both red right now from laughing. That's cute.
It's hilarious.
Ashida, what are your predictions besides sex?
I don't have anything. No, really. Okay, seriously, I think that Harvey and Jessica are going to be friends again, and they're going to work it out. That's what I think.
They need to.
Ava, they're going to figure it out. Ava's going to be found not guilty. Steven's going to be found guilty. I'm hoping. And Donna and Harvey.
She just said, I don't know. She has predictions.
I know, for like every
I was
single
like,
storyline.
sex. I'm like, well, what's better than that? But yeah, I think Donna and Harvey, I want them to kind of work. I mean, they're going to work it out, apologize, but I think maybe there might be some, you know, fireworks in there because she's going to get turned on that he tried to save her and whipped his butt and all that.
They're going to bring the whipped cream out.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Gotta get
This
that
is my
whipped
girl
cream.
right here. We're vibing.
Or should I say the can opener now?
Can opener, yes.
That just
Okay,
sounds
I'm not
painful.
gonna. Yeah, I was like, wait.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
My prediction is that Ava is going to help them get out of the merger
Okay.
after they win the case.
Oh, because she's gonna be mad because Darby sent Steven to go do these bad things
Right.
and got her in all this trouble in the
Oh,
first
that's
place.
good.
Exactly.
That's good.
I like that.
I like that too.
I'm gonna predict that Harvey and Donna will eventually get together, but she's gonna be so kind of taken aback by her. You know, she's gonna go back to her rule because she had that rule for a reason, and after it
Right.
didn't work out this time, she's gonna have to stick to that rule. But it's very obvious now that they both have to talk about the feelings that they have for each other.
They should just get it over with.
That they should just get it
Yeah.
over with. I'm also gonna predict that Mike and Rachel, I'm gonna predict that she picks Stanford. I'm just gonna go with the bold move here. She's gonna pick Stanford, and Mike's not gonna like that
Why?
because she's so far away.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh wait, where's? Oh yeah.
they're in
Mike.
New York.
That's right.
Stanford's
in
California. That's far. So I'm gonna make the prediction that she picks Stanford.
really to be away from Mike.
Yeah, but then I also think that Harvey and Jessica will work out their issues, but that Jessica will still keep Harvey at a safe distance.
Oh no, managing. No,
No,
no. It's gone.
She might even take his name off the door. I don't know. Let us know what your predictions are.
That'll hurt.
Yeah, that'll hurt him. You know, she's been hurt. Let us know what your predictions are, guys. Where can they find you on social media?
God, I didn't.
You didn't do it on Instagram.
Oh, boy.
You're fired. You're fired.
You can find me on Twitter at Ashida Onrae.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RealMK.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.